Hi Bookends! Welcome to this week's 10-minute book review. I'm 10. I feel like I have to prerequisite every video that it is hot where I am. And I can't have the air conditioner or the fan running because you'll hear it and it'll sound weird. So me and my African fan are gonna rock this out today. Let's get right into it. So today's book review is going to be on Let's Talk About Love. Let's get a good picture. By Claire Kann. So star point, this is I'm going to go for an 8. I want to say a 7 to 8 stars. It was really good. And as a rating, I would say PG-13 only because the spattering of adult language, like curse words, that are in it. It's not a lot. It is a spattering, but they are there. And if it was a movie, then I would, say someone would have to be at least of a discerning age to hear it. So, to start the book off, Alice is a young African-American girl. She's living her college life. I believe she's a sophomore now, or becoming a sophomore. And she is also ace, as an asexual. So we're going to talk more about that at the end of the video. We're just going to do the review part first, and we'll talk more about that later. So it starts off, her girlfriend is breaking up with her because she feels as though she's sexually distant. And apparently Alice is bi. Aces are interesting people, so like I said, we're going to discuss this. But yes, Alice is bi, and so she has a girlfriend. Her girlfriend is breaking up with her because she's saying that she's not emotionally available or sexually available. Like, she agrees to have sex, she allows herself to have sex, but she's never initiating sex. And Alice is hurt by this breakup because she's like, she doesn't see where it's coming from. She's like, I love you, I love cuddling, why do we need to break up? And the other girl's just like, we just do. So they break up. She moves in with her best friend Finny. Seems to be everyone, I don't know, I think she's really the only black girl in this book. I don't know, maybe that in the part of California that they're in, there aren't any black people, or there's not that many black people. I don't know. I do not know. But yeah, she moves in with her best friend and her best friend's boyfriend, and she kind of has her summer planned out. Of course, this is a horrible blow to her, but then she meets a guy by the name of Takumi. She meets a guy by the name of Takumi at her summer job, which is at the library, the public library. And she starts falling in love with him, and she has a color coding system as to how she feels about a person. It's your typical rom-com. It's cute. It's a really cute read. Nothing that I tell you right now, I think if I tell you too much, it's kind of spoilery, but I will say it's a happy ending. And it's an enlightening read for people who don't understand asexuals. And I honestly believe that asexuals are the most misunderstood people on earth. But yes, it is a happy ending. Let me think, is there anything else I can tell you that's not going to spoil anything? This would make a good kind of a lifetime movie. I couldn't see this in the theaters, but this is a really good book, especially for people who are just realizing that they're ace, maybe teenagers who are on the fence as to why does I feel this way. This is a really good book because it gives people hope. It's also a good book for parents of asexuals who are afraid their children are just going to die alone in a house filled with cats and newspapers. Maybe not even cats, just newspapers. So here's why I picked up this book. This was an impulse buy. So I'm asexual as well. Fun fact, when you're younger, it's not like with other things how people are like, oh yeah, I knew this since I was an embryo and stuff like that. You don't know these kind of things because kids are not sexual by nature, so it's not like, oh, I didn't feel attracted to anyone when I was 7. Yeah, 7-year-olds aren't supposed to. But as I got older, like 12, 13, 14, 15, like teenager, adult, there was no, basically everybody's pretty. Everybody is aesthetically pleasing. I love how in the book Alice mentions the same thing. How when it comes to asexuals, everyone is aesthetically, like, it doesn't matter who you're. That's why I was thinking about the bisexuality thing. It's kind of odd. I know people will have different opinions on it. But aces, for the most part, it's not really a bisexuality thing. It's just everyone is pretty. Everyone has their own aesthetically pleasing look to them. But that doesn't in any way indicate that you wish to have sex with them, if that makes sense. Like, I could look at a very pretty painting. I could look at a Van Gogh. I don't think his art's pretty, but I could look at a Van Gogh and be like, wow, that's some great stroke work, like, in that painting. That's wonderful. I don't want to own a Van Gogh. You know? Other people might be like, wow, I would love to own that Van Gogh. I can't afford that Van Gogh. I'm taking that Van Gogh home. And I'm just like, oh, it's a nice Van Gogh. They did their thing with that. Kind of a spectrum. But anyway, I'm personally happy. Once again, this is just my take on things and my experience. I'm personally happy that when I was at an age where being romantic with someone was an availability to me, where I had the maturity to be able to be romantic with someone, I at that point had met the man who went on to become my husband. He is also slightly older than me, and so he had a bit of a vantage point as well. I remember when we were dating earlier on, because I met him when I was 20. So when we were dating earlier on, I would say things like, I'm not really into guys, I'm not really into girls, I'm not really into anyone, but I like you a lot. You know, or I don't like kissing, really. You know, it's not that I'd rather kiss a girl, it's not that I'd rather kiss another guy. I don't like kissing at all, but I like it with you. So there were little hints at it, but of course I didn't know that there was a name for it, because there's not like a Asexual Anonymous just floating around. You know, so I didn't have a name for it, and I thought that I was broken in some way. Like, my body parts, I thought they were just broken, because everybody else is like, sex, 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 everywhere, sex. And I'm just like, ooh, you know, it's okay. It seems like it's an interesting venture to go into. It's not a venture that I want to go into, but it seems interesting for other people. Even after I got married, and we dated for a long time, and he was very patient with me, you know, never pushed me in any direction, never felt like, oh, you don't love me because you don't do this, or you don't love me because you don't initiate that. Like, he was very patient with me, and still is. And when we went on to get married, you know, I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe now I need to take some sort of a pill, right? Because I still don't have a name for what this is. So maybe I need to take a pill of some sort. And so, just like in the book, Alice was like, you know, maybe I need to take a pill. I think every asexual who doesn't understand what asexuality is, or understands it to a degree but feels as though they need to conform to other people, feel as though they need to take some sort of pill to get them to where it is they need to be, because something inside of them is broken. When in actuality, nothing inside of us is broken. We just don't have the same driving force as others when it comes to the need or want of sex. So I thought about getting a pill, and there was, I forgot the name of it, but they were dubbing it the female Viagra. This is back in, like, what, 2010, I think? 2010, 2011. I saw it in a Red Book. I read a lot of Red Book and Cosmopolitan, because I figured if I read those kind of books, I would get the kind of feelings that the women in the books spoke about, and it, you know, just by osmosis it would work. But yeah, there was a pill in there that people were calling the female Viagra, and it did nothing. You know, it wasn't, I think it was more so for women who were having desire but no way of implementing the desire, like hormone levels weren't high enough or what have you. Not for people who had no desire and were looking to get a desire. Don't know. Didn't work though. So yeah, it made me feel even more broken, right? And once again, my husband was very loving throughout the whole of it, but it just made me feel even more broken. And what was weird is that I enjoyed hugging and cuddling. I enjoyed being close. You know, I got, you know, like happy feelings, not like anything else, but just, you know, felt relaxing to be in that kind of position. It's just, there was no sexual component that was necessary for me to be happy. I could snuggle and cuddle for the rest of my life with one person and be happy for the rest of my life. I saw something on Facebook in a group that I was in, and someone said they had just broken up with their girlfriend because she was upset that they weren't intimate enough. And someone was like, well, why aren't you intimate enough? You know, he's like, I don't feel like it, but I love her. And they're like, oh, I just can't get myself in that headspace. Like, have you tried taking a pill? And his response was like, I'm ace. And so I was confused by this. Like, you're a card? You're an ace of what? Hearts, spades, what? And I looked up the term ace. And from there, I actually typed in the term, I am ace, in Google. And that brought me to Asexual, which brought me to Wikipedia, which I, you know, read the description on Wikipedia, but I decided to go to other websites to kind of figure it out. When I looked at the descriptions of what an asexual is, I saw that that was me. So I wasn't broken. I wasn't bad. I was me. That may sound weird, but it's not that asexuals don't have sexual feelings. Is they don't have sexual feelings that they feel the need to have someone else assist them with. Now me, I'm married, so I don't have those worries. But I found out that a lot of asexuals, like speaking to other people who are asexual, they end up alone. And they end up alone because of the same reason as Alice, which is their partner feels neglected, right? Because their partner has all this desire for this person. And why wouldn't they? You know, it's a regular person. So there must have been something physical about that person and something mental, emotional about that person to attract them to their partner, right? So they have all this desire for this person that they're in a relationship with, and the person who's in the relationship with them doesn't always reciprocate it. Right? Anyone can pretend to reciprocate things, but they don't always reciprocate. Now, that being said, that does not mean that people who are asexual do not enjoy sex, right? That is a common misconception. People who are asexual do enjoy sex too. They just don't go searching for it. For instance, so we're all at a party, right? Everybody's drinking punch. And my husband's like, hey babe, do you want some punch? I could go for some punch. And I'm like, I'm not thirsty, but if you're gonna get some punch, then yeah, sure, I'll have some. That's kind of a simplified way of how asexuality works. It's not that we don't have sexual desires. It's not that sex is bad to us or icky or anything like that. It's just that we're not thirsty for it. We're not hungry for it. We're not pining for it. We're not looking for it. But if it's there, you know, if it's available, I think asexuality is a lot harder for men than it is for women, unfortunately, because women will always be able to get in where we fit in, kind of. Like, there'll always be a guy who's like, okay, I don't mind. But for men, I think women who are not asexual kind of require a mental and an emotional component along with sexuality that if someone is ace, they may not be able to provide that sexual emotional capacity. I don't know. Speaking from me for me personally, right? Because we love and care about each other so much, I get all the hugs and cuddles and affirmations that I need in life to make me happy in a relationship. All of the physical and non-physical affirmations that make me happy. And he gets physical and non-physical affirmations too, and he also gets the intimacy component of it, right? So we both have different things that we need, but it's things that we were going to do anyway, or things that we were, yeah, things that are going to be done anyway. So I hope I didn't confuse anybody when it comes to aces. Basically, the gist of it is we're normal people. We're not broken. We don't need to be fixed. We don't need a pill. We are fine just the way we are. We like romance. There's a good amount of us who want to be in a relationship, who want to find that special person who's going to love us for who it is we are, not make us feel bad about who it is we are not, and who will just allow us to give them what it is we have. Like, we will have sex. We are just not looking for it. So please just take what you can get, because we're willing to give it. If it's one of us who wants to be in a relationship, we are willing to give that. Okay? Third, don't look at us like we're weird. We're not weird. If your kid tells you, you know, Mom, Dad, I don't, like, if you're gonna go have the sex talk with them and they're like, Mom, Dad, I'm not really interested in sex at all, you know, they're not weird. They just are who they are. Don't make them feel like jerks, or make them feel bad because they don't want to do what everybody else is doing. And 4, we make great partners, because most of us love hugs and cuddling and being loved in general. So if you're looking for someone who is emotionally available, maybe not sexually, but we'll still do it. But yes, if you're looking for someone who's emotionally available and who is physically affirming, then you'll find that in one of us. Okay, number 5 is big. Number 5 is big. Please pay attention to number 5. Do not take a lack of sexual interest as a lack of overall interest. Which means just because you're in a relationship with someone who is asexual, don't take the fact that they do not initiate sexual contact. Don't take the fact that they don't initiate sexual contact as they are not into you, that they don't love you, that they don't want you, that they're faking the experience that they're having with you. They're not faking the experience that they have with you. They don't dislike you. They don't find you physically or emotionally or just unattractive. It's just our brain doesn't go there, right? Our brain doesn't send us there. You have to take us there. If we're saying that we're willing to go, you have to leave. Then you just got to take us every time. You just got to grab us by the hand and say, hey, you want to go? And we'll be like, yeah, sure. I'm not too tired. Yeah. Number 5 is the biggest one. Do not take a lack of sexual interest as a lack of overall interest. We still love you. Don't take it that way. I love my husband so much. And I love that he's older than me and he understands things and he's patient with me and that he waits for me to get things. So yeah, I think if I'd married someone either my age or around my age, I probably would have fared badly. I don't think we would have gotten to the married part. Yeah. But going back to the book, this was a great book for anyone who's wondering about how the ace mind works. I don't know if the author is ace or not. If she's not, then I do thank her for getting into the ace mind and not making us look like these crazy people who don't like sex, or these crazy people who just want to stay in a room by ourselves with cats and hate couples and hate people. I really appreciate this book. I really do. It would have been a 10 if it wasn't for the language, and honestly, that's a personal preference on my end. I didn't like the placement of it, but I'm guessing that it is, I'm not in college anymore, so I'm guessing that this is just how college kids speak sometimes. It wasn't gratuitous, like it wasn't overly done. I just didn't like the placement. I would love to see more ace characters in books, but I understand that an ace character could probably be boring to most mainstream people because of course everyone wants to see someone get the girl, get the guy, and have all the explosions in their brain when they kiss. And with most ace characters, you're not gonna need explosions. You're just gonna get warm fuzzies. There'll be lots of warm fuzzies. And even in the book, this was very interesting too. The author made a joke through one of the characters. So while she was breaking up with her girlfriend, her girlfriend was like, why don't you like sex or something to that effect? And she was like, I just don't. And she's like, but you're black. Which is a common misconception that's put into books and media and shows, that black people are just oversexed. It's like, we're not oversexed, we're humans too. If there's a white version of something, there's a black version of it. So we're not just sitting around oversexed. Woof. Ha. We're not, yeah, that's not us. So I appreciated the joke. It was a really good book. I recommend it to anyone who wants to know more about the ace experience, or to any teenagers who are possibly thinking that they might be ace and just want some affirmation, or maybe just to find out that they're not. Because a lot of thoughts that she has, I have too, and I am not this person. I don't think that she was, this is my personal opinion. Once again, I don't think that she was actually bi. I think because most ace people aren't bi, gay, or straight by definition, I think that she was a soul lover. And because she had no interest in sex to begin with, like from the gate, like I fell in love with my husband's soul, like with my husband as a person. That's why I fell in love. I wasn't like, wow, this dude is handsome. Wow, like no, I fell in love with, of course he was cute to me, but I fell in love with his soul. I wasn't sexually attracted to him. I was emotionally and spiritually attracted to him. And I feel as though most aces who are romantic are attracted to souls as well, because they're not attracted to, the how sexy someone is or how cute someone is. That the cute part only goes skin deep. Like that's just like a quick thing that you see quickly, and then you move really far beyond that, because usually people go from cute to sexy, but we don't go from cute to sexy. We just go cute. Yeah, so we don't move on to that other stage of it. So we fall in love with souls. So I don't believe that Alice was really bi, gay, or straight. I think she falls into the same basket as most of us aces, which are that if we are romantic, then we are romantically inclined towards a particular soul, a particular person, not towards a particular gender or a particular sexuality or a particular sexual act. So yeah, good book. I know I've said that already. Good book to learn from. Said that already too. And if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions about asexuality, I'm not an expert or anything like that. I'm just me. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, right? Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.